Hi guys, Fabio Palvelli here, welcome back to my channel. The next video in this small strategy series that I've created for designers and artists that are trying to reposition themselves in the market, it's going to be about branding. Now, essentially, when we talk about branding, the majority of us think directly of the company's website, of the logo, of how you make your posts on social media. And don't get me wrong, this is all important stuff that we might need to discuss within the context of how to create our image and presence online. But in the wider scheme of things, a logo, a website, and all that stuff, they're just a tiny element of what branding is. The definition of branding that I like the most is the one that I got from this book called The Brand Flip by Martin Neumeyer. I mentioned this book quite a few times already. Martin Neumeyer says that in order to understand what branding really is, all you have to do is replace the word branding with reputation. I know, right? So simple and yet so true. Our image is our reputation. What we do, but even more important, how we do it and why we do it is what helps people deciding how they see us, how they perceive us. Now, let's try to understand why it is necessary to work on building a brand for your business. Many artists, when I explain to them the concept of branding, they struggle to see how this can be connected to a service like design, because they think that branding is only something that applies to products. And in a way, this is understandable because the question when it comes to service is, how do you brand something that does not physically exist? And the answer is, you don't. What you have to brand is yourself as a company. I mentioned in the past that for clients to want to work with you, you have to make sure that clients know you, you need to make sure that clients trust you, and you need to make sure that they like you. These three things are tightly connected with each other because we can only trust those we like if we first get to know them. This is basic human behavior. We tend to surround ourselves with people that we like and that we know. We tend to go and watch the same movies, we listen to the same music. Even on social media, we tend to like the same memes or join the same groups. And as a consequence, we tend to buy from the same source the things that people like us tend to buy. Now, there is a book from Seth Godin called Tribes. It's also another interesting read. Seth Godin says that in the era of noise, people buy if they feel that they can join a tribe, because joining a tribe means to feel safe and stay connected to like-minded people. And so in order for us to create this connection, you have to take the risk to expose your opinion and share your thoughts, because by sharing your thoughts, you put yourself out there. Now, not everyone is going to like you for what you have to say, and believe me, I've learned this on my own skin, but those who do share your opinions and have deliberately chosen to listen to what you have to share, those guys are not only going to be your clients, they're going to be your endorsement. They're going to be those who will go out of their way to help you out when you need it. And so it is vital in any business nowadays not to only develop the business itself, but also focusing on building a brand. And building a brand takes time because you have to develop trust. So it is best to start as soon as possible. Now, obviously, you will not be able to build a tribe of people that will buy your design services in the same way as, say, Apple was able to build a tribe of iPhone lovers, or Starbucks was able to build a tribe of slow coffee drinkers. Is that even a thing? But you will be able to build a following of like-minded people that will endorse you for who you are. And this is, to me, really, really important. Another important thing when developing your own brand, and so as we said earlier, building your reputation, it is to develop clarity and transparency. This is very difficult, pay attention. Most people, they go into the design business saying things like, we do this better, or our approach is different, or we are here to help you out and your problems are our problems. This does not necessarily create clarity, because how can you objectively say, we do this better? Now, the human brain, like Simon Sinek says, it's wired to connect the dots. And every time that we're presented with something new, in the case of a designer or an artist with a creative service, but it could be a product as well, our first reaction is often to ask ourselves, why is your work as a designer better? Or how is your work as a designer better? So if you are the designer, it becomes very difficult for you to answer these questions with clarity and transparency. And so when thinking about building your brand, your image, your reputation online, you should always start with asking yourself why. Why am I doing this? How am I better than others? What is my motivation? Is it only the money? That is for sure not something that your clients will see value in it, so don't be too pragmatical. A book that I can recommend on this topic is Find Your Why by Simon Sinek. Do I have it here? Anyway, I don't know, it's somewhere. Now, finding your why, it's really hard, trust me. It's not something that you will figure out in one sitting. It is usually a spiritual journey for people to discover their whys. And so, if you don't really know where to start, one way to do it, or at least one way to get the ball rolling, is for you to develop your own positioning statement, because this will force you to have to think. I've made a video about the positioning statement. I'll try to remember to put the link in the description. But once you have created a positioning statement, you should implement action, because action is the seed for success. And so don't just focus on planning. Once you do have something planned, take action, because as I always say, the difference between those who do and those who don't do is those who do. Okay, so now that this is clear, at least I hope, I do want to talk about the importance of creating brand recognition. Now, let me show you a few pictures. Unless you have been living under a rock for the past 20, maybe even 30 years, God, I'm old, you do recognize who the people in the picture are. Brand recognition is the sugar coating of branding. This is what the site, the logo, in some cases the clothes that you wear, are meant to do. They create a sense of familiarity with your audience. And this is because humans do find comfort in familiarity. We like to see things that we know and recognize. It helps us strengthen our relationship with the subjects in discussion. But you cannot really have a brand to be recognized if there is no substance behind it. You see, when I started my own YouTube channel, after about a year or so, I got myself my hat with the name on, I got stickers, and in the beginning I got only criticism from people and I got laughed at because there was nothing there for me to brand. Then when my first good videos started to pop up and my message got sharper and better, people started to recognize value in what I was doing, and therefore they could associate my brand to the work that I was making. This goes to explain that as long as you are not a leader, or at least really good at what you do, and you can prove that, you should not really worry about branding yourself, because it might actually have the opposite effect, to be honest. What you can do, as discussed already in the past, is focusing on clients' relationships, customer care, and you can leverage your content to try and target the people that you want to work with. But anyway, I'm trying to leave these videos a little bit open-ended because I would like to hear your opinion on the subject and hopefully find a way to push this conversation forward. So feel free to leave a comment, hit the like button if you enjoyed this piece of content, share this video if you think that you know people that could benefit from what I'm doing. And again, my name is Fabio Palvelli. See you guys next time.